Hey everyone, Bandit here. Welcome back to the channel. We're back in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. And no, the PMDG is not released yet, although word on the street is should be out this week, hopefully by Thursday the 18th. Anyway, in lieu of that, we're going to do a flight in the Fenix A320. And what we're going to feature for today's flight is a recent feature of Beyond ATC, which is CPDLC. What is CPDLC? It's controller pilot data link communications, kind of like text messaging back and forth between airplanes, and it's become a lot more commonly used over the last 10 years. It was originally developed for oceanic crossings to have a better method than using old HF radios or communicating between aircraft, but now it's being incorporated into domestic operations as well. Only in the high-level airspace though, and that's fairly well integrated in Beyond ATC, which we're going to see today. So for today's flight, we're going to do what occasionally is a real-world flight. Air Canada, they operate a service called Jetz, which is a charter operation, and they charter flights for sports teams and stuff like this. So we're going to feature a real-world flight, which is from Boston to Toronto. We're going to fly the Maple Leafs back after beating the Boston Bruins in Boston. And yeah, so it's about an hour and 15-minute flight. We're here on the ground in Boston, a beautiful evening. Sun's getting ready to go down, heading to Toronto. A little bit of snow showers there. Should be a nice flight. So without further ado, let's hop inside the aircraft and get things set up for our flight today. Okay, we're here in the cockpit of the A320, and I've done the pre-flight stuff. I haven't loaded the flight plan or anything because that's going to be part of the setup for CPDLC that we want to go through here. I'm not an A320 guy, so I only flown the A320 in Microsoft Flight Sim, but I'm kind of proficient at it. I've flown it a little bit. So for today's flight, we're going to use CPDLC, and you normally need a DCDU here for that, and it's not always on every airplane. A lot of domestic operators wouldn't get this feature because it's not really required. If you're doing oceanic stuff, you're going to use it. But a lot more operators are just ordering, because they can do oceanic stuff in narrow-body aircraft like the A320 here. Air Canada can fly it from St. John's to Dublin, so I think most operators now are just ordering CPDLC as a standard option on all their aircraft. But if it's not in the aircraft, you just have to go back to your sim settings here, and you just have to click on DCDU, and there it is. So we have it now for our flight for today. The setup for CPDLC right now with Beyond ATC can only be used in a few aircraft. The A320 is one of them. The A340, I think, by any builds, and I can't remember the third one. But it should be coming out. I think PMDG is talking about installing it in their aircraft too. So basically, there's a setup on their website on how to set it up for the A320 for Fenix here. I'm not going to go through all that. I'm just going to go through the operation-wise how you have to make it work in the airplane. So normally you get a pre-departure clearance, and what we can do is, if you want to see if pre-departure clearance is available, and I think just Beyond ATC has a setup for most major airports, but in real life, if you want to see if pre-departure clearance is available, you just go to your charts and you go to ground charts. Well, I think they're already started here, yeah. So we'll just go to the ground chart for Boston, and we'll call up here, and you can see it has data communications. So via ACARS, you have digital ATIS, you have pre-departure clearance, and this is terminal weather. And then CPDLC, you have data link communications or departure clearance available. So you can get your departure clearance through CPDLC here and through ACARS. A lot of airlines just use ACARS to get it. So it is available here, so let's get things set up. So we'll start off, we got a message here, we'll get into the MCDU, and we'll go to the ATC page, will take us over to the AOC menu, and we'll check our received messages. Oh, we got a whole bunch of load sheets, wow. Yeah. already loaded the aircraft. We'll just say all the load sheets were good, so I'm just going to cancel that out. Don't know why we have, sometimes I see 2 here, I haven't seen this many here. But we'll get rid of all of them, or accept them all. We'll just compare with our flight plan. You may have noticed up top there I have a banner set up. I've been working on getting ready for doing some live streaming stuff, so I got this banner made up. And yeah, so hopefully get that live stream stuff organized pretty soon. In the meantime, I'm just going to use the banner for the flight, and you can see we're on the Beyond ATC network up here. Okay, so there's our flight plan off of 33 left, the Highland 7 departure, and then we're going to Toronto, plan to land on 23. We'll see how that works out. Oh no, I think that's the old flight plan. I fly out the 360, yeah, there we go, same flight plan, 360. And I follow the 360 because I'll request a climb with CPDLC to show you how that works. Yeah, so accepted all our messages here. Next thing we need to do is you need to go on the AOC page, you need to go to flight initialization, and this is a required step, so you have to get this information in and put it in. So you need your call sign. It has to be the same call sign that's on your flight plan with SimBrief. So ACA 7042, Boston to Toronto, alternate is London, and time en route is hour 20. So that's the AOC, or flight initialization, done. Next thing you need to do is we'll get some weather. So the ATIS here is 350, and we'll use the ACARS is not set up in here to get the weather from Beyond ATC yet, so get it from BATSIM, but not Beyond ATC.
Dew point -16, altimeter 3005, landing runway 2732, left, departing runway 33 left, red Michael hold short instructions.
3005.
Advise on initial contact, you have information, Mike.
And it's Mike.
Information, Mike. 204.
Okay, so remember Mike when we do our send off for our pre-departure clearance. Okay, yeah, so the ATIS, like I said, it only gives you the BATSIM network or the ABEO network. It doesn't give you the option for Beyond ATC. I don't know if that's coming in the future, but so you just get your ATIS through the radio frequency there. And then next thing we need to do is go to our initialization page, and we need to request our initialization for the flight. And then once that pops in, we need to again make sure we have our flight number as the same as our ACA 7042. Cost index is 16, and the cruise is 360. Okay, now that we have that set up, we'd just be waiting to get the airplane finished loading up. And we do have our final load numbers, so we can go on with that in a minute. But next we'll get our clearance through pre-departure clearance. Another thing too is when you're looking at the DCDU here, if you don't see these lines, if they're dimmed out, if it's like this, just come onto the screen and make sure you put it up to bright so that you can see, and then you know it's functioning properly. Okay, nav accuracy is good. Let's go to our menu again. And we'll go to our add to menu, and we'll get ATC menu, and we'll request, oh no, sorry, we're not going to use ATC for this. We're going to go back to AOC menu, and we're going to ATC requests on the AOC menu, and we're going to do pre-departure clearance. Now, we are at, I'm not sure what the stand number is here. I'm just going to say FBO. And ATIS was Mike. And station, so for stations for Beyond ATC, in the US they usually use KUSA for, is the CPDLC identifier, but they don't use individual airport stations, but for Beyond ATC they just use the airport, so it would be just KBOS. But you'll see later when we log in for airborne use of CPDLC, we'll log in at KUSA. So we got Boston, so that's all their information, so we'll send that off. And so we'll wait for our clearance to get back. While we're doing that, let's go to our setup here, and we'll go to our NIT data, mass and balance. So the plane's all loaded, and we say our numbers were good. We'll just double check in the flight plan here. So payload was gross weight 124.5 and 124, so that's pretty close. So we'll send that info to the, and we got a fuel load of 12.8, that's good. So we'll send that to the, oh, and you can see our pre-departure clearance came in. So we got the ATC message light shines up here, and if it blinks for a long time, you'll also get a tone, but we'll just cancel that. We'll go down to our pre-departure clearance. So this is from KBOS. We're cleared Toronto, runway 33 left. The Highland 7 departure, climb to 4,000 feet. Departure frequency 1330. Squawk 3242. When ready, call frequency 127.5. So that looks good. And there's a next page, so we'll go to the next page. 127.5, if unable, voice call, information mic current. Okay, so that's good. So we'll accept that. So we'll go back up. We'll accept that clearance. So we'll say Wilco, and that will put Wilco up to our reply here, and then we have to send that. And then that message is sent. Once it goes all green, you can see it's all green. It's been sent, received by ATC. And so now let's put that information in. So we'll squawk is 3242. So we'll clear that. 3242 up to 4,000 feet. And let's go to our flight plan and load the Highland 7 off 33 left. So departure 33 left. Well, you can see we weren't looking at those, so we did get a tone there, ATC menu message. And so we'll close that and we'll see what our other message is. So this just says confirming that our PDC clearance has been confirmed. So that's good. So we'll just close that. And good. And you got a recall button if you need to go back and recall what your last message was. I'm not sure how long it stays in this for the Airbus, but if you need to recall older messages, you can go back and find them in the CDU here, or MCDU. Okay, so that they have our message. So let's load up the Highland 7 off of 33 left. No transition. We'll insert that. And now we'll go to our perf data. I'll put the flight plan page over here. And I think we're all good. So we'll go to our perf data. That's our takeoff page. And 33 left, dry runway. We're going to use optimal config, force toga no, anti-ice off, packs we'll leave on. We'll get the weights from the load sheet there. We'll get the numbers for the weather conditions. We'll hit calculate. 42, 42, 42, flaps 1, soup temperature 68, that looks good. We'll send that to the MCDU. Just verify all that is in there, and we look good for the departure clearance. Okay, I think we have all our data loaded, so let's go into our checklist. Whoop. So, pilot brief, checklist. So we got gears and pins removed, fuel quantity is good. We have need fuel of 12,800 pounds, and we have fuel of 12,780 pounds. That's good enough. Seatbelts are on, adheres are in nav. Seatbelts are on, adheres are in nav. And barrel ref 3005 set, and that shows within pretty close to field elevation, so that's set. Okay, and while we're here, let's do our before start checklist. So parking brake is on. And we're not going to push back here, so parking brake is on. We're just going to start here and taxi out. Takeoff speeds, thrust are set, 142. And windows are closed, and we'll get the beacon on. And go back to get the APU on there, so it made the switch, that's good. Put our APU bleed air on. And we'll put our transponder on auto, TARA. Okay, so that's the before start checklist. They're pulling the doors there. And we'll call up, we'll get our first officer. So I'm going to have the first officer do all the communications with Beyond ATC. Hi, how you doing? You ready to go? Okay, so we'll get the first officer to tune up ground. And requests for startup only.
Air Canada 7042, RAM 32, request engine start.
Air Canada 7042, engine start approved. Call when ready for taxi.
Affirmative, engine start approved. Air Canada 7042.
Okay, so we're cleared to start. So we have our leaders on, beacons on. That looks good. So we'll start the right-hand engine first. And when we're starting up here, we got another company message. I'll just go back to see what that is. KBOS message. Oh, and that's just a message telling us our pre-departure clearance was received. Okay, so that's good. Clear that out. We're big back up here. Just monitor the start. Yeah, so it's pretty common now in most places. You use CPDLC to get your clearance, and it just cuts down on. You don't get any confusion. Everything is. There's no radio errors when you're doing these. Clearances and stuff like that, especially when you're in a country where there might be different languages spoken and stuff like that. It's a lot more effective. Okay, good start on number 2. We'll start number 1. And yeah, so you get your departure clearance, but then CPDLC won't be used till we get to high-level airspace. So it'll be normal voice communications for taxi, takeoff, initial climb out, and then usually once you get into the high-level airspace, then you'll be able to use CPDLC for data link communications en route. And we'll see how that works once we get going. So it starts looking pretty good. Like I said, I'm not an Airbus guy. I'm just going to be doing my best to fly the A320 here. Okay, we have a good start. So it's going to be flaps 1. Get that off. We'll arm our speed brake. Come up here, we'll put the auto brake max. Get rid of our APU. And we'll set our trim up 0.3. So that looks good. So let's do our after start checklist. So anti-ice is now required. ECAM status. Check. We'll put our wind shear auto for now, and just have park and brake and APU available. That'll be going off shortly, so cam status is good. Pitch trim is set, rudder trim is neutral, and after start checklist is complete, we get the FO to call for taxi.
Air Canada 7042, request taxi.
Air Canada 7042, runway tree left taxi via Bravo Charlie. Hold short runway 4 left.
So
Runway
Bravo
33
Charlie.
left taxi via Bravo Charlie. Hold short runway 4
And
left.
hold
Air
short, 4
Canada
left.
7042.
So that's pretty short. And then we'll probably continue out Bravo Charlie all the way for 33. Okay, so we'll get our taxi light on. And park brake release. Yeah, so I've done a few flights with the CPDLC in Beyond ATC here. Like I said, it seems to be working fairly accurately. I did a couple in Europe and a couple in North America. Yeah, they seem to work pretty good. We'll see once we get airborne. You can log in ahead of time, but you can't use it till the high-level airspace. So in real life, I never logged in till when I did the 10,000 foot check. Then I usually logged into CPDLC because you only use it in the high-level airspace. Should have a little bit of traffic here taxiing out too. Traffic injection seems to work pretty good in Beyond ATC as well. Okay, so let's check our flight controls. Pull up, pull down, pull left, pull right. And check our rudder is good. Flight controls are checked. Give the cabin a call. So we're all up here. And we'll do our takeoff config check. Oh, it's good. Back to our checklist. And we'll get our taxi checklist after we hear back from the flight attendants. There's our flight attendants.
The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Perfect. Okay, so the cabin is secure for takeoff. Let's hop outside, have a look at the... This is Fly Tampa Boston. Yeah, it works pretty good in Microsoft 2024. I don't think they've updated it for 2024. It's still classified as a 2020 version, but it works pretty good. Yeah, you can see a little bit of traffic. We've got some traffic at the gate over there. Somebody's just taxiing in. There's somebody landing. Yeah, I've been really happy with the performance in 2024 since the Sim Update 4. Busy airport like this right now, I can't see, but I'm rocking about 50 FPS, and I'm not using freight engine, and I'm just using TAA. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that for this advanced aircraft in a big airport with traffic on it. Beyond ATC going. Can't complain about that. Let me know in the comments how you like the use of 2024 since Sim Update 4 beta or has been released. Yeah, so I'm getting things organized, trying to figure out OBS, and like I said, I got my banner set up for doing some live streaming, so when people pop in, they can kind of see where we are in the flight. And
Air Canada 7042, cross runway 4 left at Charlie. Continue taxi via Bravo Charlie. Hold short runway 4 right.
Cross runway 4 left to Charlie. Continue taxi via Bravo Charlie. Hold short runway 4 right, Air Canada 7042.
okay, it's Foxtrot. Charlie should be the next taxiway there. So we got a bit of a straightaway, so let's do our taxi check. So flight controls are checked. Flap config is 1 set. Config check is done. Radar and predicted wind shear is auto. Engine mode selector we'll leave where it is, and ECAM memo is blue. Looking good. There's Charlie coming up. We'll make a left on Charlie. We're cleared across 4 left and hold short of 4 right. We'll put the taxi chart back up for that. Charlie, clear across 4 left and hold short of 4 right. Okay, clear across. Yeah, I haven't got the settings cranked up for the traffic. That I got it about at mid-level, so it does give it a little bit more sense of realism, but it doesn't bog down the sim with too much traffic. Because Boston would definitely be busier in this. Somebody taxiing ahead of us there. That looks good. So right now we're not cleared to cross for right. But they should sense us getting close, hopefully, and give us a clearance across. If not, I can just get the FO to request clearance across for right.
Air Canada 7042, cross runway 4 right at
There we
Charlie.
go.
Continue taxi via Charlie. Hold short runway 27.
Cross runway 4 right at Charlie. Continue taxi via Charlie. Hold short runway 27 Air Canada 7042.
Okay, cleared across 4 right and hold short of 27 at Charlie. That's pretty standard out of Boston. Usually get all these hold shorts when they're doing these 3-3 right departures. Not sure what airline that is ahead of us there. Spirit. Here's holding short. I think they're landing on 27, so that's probably to wait for some landing traffic to get across. Oh, he's been cleared across. Somebody taking off. There's Delta taking off. 3-3. Continuing on Charlie, hold short at 27. So I did do this flight
Air Canada 7042, cross
yesterday.
runway 27 at Charlie.
Cross 27.
Continue taxi via Charlie.
Cross runway 27 at Charlie. Continue taxi via Charlie. Air Canada 7042.
Yeah, so I didn't today I didn't verify all the waypoints. They were all good. It was the same flight plan as yesterday, so they were all good. So the Highland 7, so we'll get that chart up here ready to go. So I'll just show you out of here. So we're going to be taking off 3-3. And we're going to be climbing up along this routing to Highland there, so it's pretty straightforward. There's no speed or altitude restrictions, and 4,000 feet is what ATC gave us. It says 5,000 on the chart there, I think, but
Air
that's what they gave
Canada
us.
7042, contact Boston Tower 128.8.
Contact Tower 128.8 Air Canada 7042. Take care.
And if you haven't used Beyond ATC before, I have it set up for the co-pilot to automatically switch the frequencies and to auto-respond to most calls. But this call here, it's not set up for auto-respond because I'm not ready to go. I don't want the FO to call ready to go. So there is a response that I'll select there. I'll show you here in a second. So there's Spirit taking off. Yeah, so if I just bring up the Beyond ATC here, we have, I'll just request takeoff
Air
departure.
Canada 7042, holding short, runway 33 left.
Air Canada 7042, runway 33 left, line up and wait.
Runway 33 left, line up and wait, Air Canada 7042.
So line up, takeoff runway, set TCAS is auto and PACs are on, we'll leave those on. We'll get our strobe light landing, or landing light's not on, we're just going to line up and wait, so we'll leave the taxi light on, move to position. So the strobe is on. We're just line up and
Air
wait for now.
Canada 7042 Boston Tower, wind 285 at 13, air nav to tech, runway 33 left, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 33 left, air nav to tech, cleared for takeoff, Air Canada 7042.
Okay, we get our landing light on.
Spirit Wings 1220, contact Boston departure.
Contact Boston departure, Spirit Wings 1220.
Procured
Sharp
816,
line, a little
holding
bit
short,
there.
runway
Back on it.
33 left.
So we'll set our thrust.
Procured 816, hold short of 33 left,
Set
departing
thrust.
traffic.
Man flex
Roger, hold
68
short of
SRS
33
runway
left,
auto thrust blue.
Brickyard 816.
Thrust is set.
Procured 816, runway
There's 80
33
knots.
left, line up and wait. Line up and wait, runway 33 left.
Get strong winds
Procured
here.
816.
There's V1. Rotate. Positive rate, gear up. And nav is active. 400 feet. Get the autopilot on. we're RNAV to Trek, so that looks good.
Air Canada 7042, contact Boston departure.
Contact Boston departure,
Okay,
Air
so
Canada
levers decline.
7042.
Levers climb.
Boston departure, Air Canada 7042. Good afternoon, 2000.
Air
Co-pilot checking in.
7042, Boston departure.
Up.
Radar contact. Climb, maintain flight level 180.
Climb, maintain flight level 180, Air Canada 7042.
There's flight 180, and we got climb set. We got the flaps up. We get the taxi light off. And the speed brake is off. So we're looking good. Accelerating to 250, climbing up to flight level 180. Yeah, beautiful departure here out of Boston. I think it's a paint job on this Air Canada Jetz.
Contact Boston Center 123.75. Contact Boston Center 123.75, JetBlue 288. Boston departure, Brickyard 816, 1100. Brickyard 816, Boston departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 10,000. Climb and maintain 10,000, Brickyard 816.
Okay, so we'll get our 10,000 foot check here in a minute, and then we'll log into KUSA, which would be the CPDLC login for the entire US, which is kind of nice. They could have easily done it by state or FIR region, and that would have been a lot of logins as you're flying across country. It's kind of nice how they've done it with one login. Over to Europe, you're switching CPDLC areas all the way across Europe all the time. It'd be nice if they just came up with a Euro one. And in Canada, it's broken up by all the FIR regions like Edmonton Centre, Winnipeg Centre, Toronto Centre. Okay, there's 10,000 feet, so we'll get our lane light off. That's pretty smooth. Looks like clear air ahead. We'll get the belts off. And yeah, so now let's go log into our CPDLC. So we're accelerating, still climbing up to 180. Okay, so we'll go back into our menu page. We'll go to ATSU, and then now we need to go to the ATC menu. And we are going to look at our connection. And we're going to send a notification off that we want to connect to KUSA. And if you're in doubt of what the connection is here, all you got to do is go to the communication and look at the center, and you can see the CPDLC logging in here for this area that we're in now is KUSA. So that's where you can find that information. I'll show you where you... The States is just... The whole country is KUSA, but I'll show you where you can find it for other FIR regions. Okay, so we'll log into KUSA. And then we'll see the star appears and we can send notify. And then KUSA notify. So that looks good. So KUSA login accepted. Perfect. So now it shows our active ATC as KUSA. And we'll just leave that up there. So we'll go back to our perf. Climb on up here. Looking pretty good. So like I said, even now, until we get to the high level controller.
Contact Boston Center 33325.
Center on 33325, Air Canada 7042. Boston Center, Air Canada 7042, through 15,500 feet for flight level 180, direct helm.
Air Canada 7042, Boston Center, climb, maintain flight level 360.
Climb, maintain flight level 360, Air Canada 7042.
Okay, there's 360. We're still in climb. Going up to our transition. Yeah, so this is the controller that you would be able to do CPDLC with now. So you're talking to the high level controller, and you should be able to do any ATC communications. So for example, we're going to Highland here. We still got, well, we're going to make the turn anyway, but I can request direct to page here. There's transition, so that's standard. And standard on here. For some reason this is only in millibars. And standard set, so let's request direct to page there, so KYGE. So we go back to our menu, to the ATC menu, our request direct to EAYGE. It might be too far away, but we'll see what happens. So what happens is you put the request in through your MCDU here, and then you transfer it to the DCDU. So you do it through this, the star is active. Requests, so that now you got request direct to page, and so that star is active, so we can hit send. So that's sending. Received by ATC. Close that out, and then we'll see what they say. So they have a delay built in. It's not automatic. It doesn't come automatically. It usually takes 30 seconds, a minute or so to get a response back, depending on how busy ATC is. But normally we would have requested that from ATC, and then they would have said stand by. But now they just get this message pop up on their system, and they can address it when they have time. So it definitely cuts down on a lot of communication. Sorry, we cleared the 360. Mistake. Let's put 360 in there. Okay, we got an ATC message there, and it says clear direct pane. So that looks good. Go to page 2. So nothing. More page 2, so that's good. So we'll just close that, and we're going to go direct pane. So we'll go direct to. Set the page in there. Insert direct, and off we go. We just got another one pop in. You can see we got another message there, and it said contact KUSA Boston Center on 128.325. So I'll just say Wilco. So that's the next controller. So Wilco is highlighted there. We'll hit send, and so that's now sent. Close that out, and the co-pilot should automatically switch to that frequency. And then check
Boston
in for
Center,
us.
Air Canada 7042, passing flight level 263 for flight level 360.
Air Canada 7042, Boston Center.
Okay, and that's normally what you do. So you get that CPDLC message, says contact Boston Center on that frequency. So you just accept it, switch the frequency, and you still have to check in via radio voice, unless they send oh, we got another one here, contact Boston Center. They can send one where it just says monitor Boston Center on the frequency, and in that case you just have to switch frequencies, but you don't have to call them. So we'll hit Wilco. You can see if we get the tone, if it, so we got Wilco send. So another frequency change.
Boston Center,
That's highlighted, so we can close it.
Out of flight level 281 for flight level 360, direct page.
And the FO is automatically checked in. We're off.
Air Canada 742, Boston Center, roger.
So that's CPDLCs, working pretty good. Once we level off at 360, I will get the request in to climb to 380. So if we go to the prog page here, 380 is our optimum and 390 is max. So we'll just request 360 once we level off with the controller here. Yeah, so that's CPDLC. Beautiful sunset here. So while we're climbing up, let's go back to our charts here. Let's get Toronto. Star chart. So we're coming in on a Ling 3, and they're saying LS23. We'll see what the ATIS says. And like I said, we can't get the ATIS. We'll have to do it through the frequency there. So the ATIS for Toronto is going to be 128.25. We'll have that ready to go. We won't be able to pick it up till we get a little bit closer, but that's the ATIS for Toronto.
November 9555 Lima. Contact Boston Center 132.65. Have a good afternoon.
Center on 132.65. November 9.
But we can't get the weather for Boston or for Toronto. So we'll go back to our flight here, call up arrival weather. So the winds are 220 to 15 miles. So it's just cloudy now, so the snow will stop. -5, 3006. And yeah, so they don't have an ATIS there.
Contact Boston Center 133.325.
Contact Boston Center 133.325, United 2609 Heavy.
Yeah, so that's about the limit of CPDLC use in domestic airspace. Usually just get frequency changes, you request direct twos, you request altitude changes, stuff like that, and just not have to rely on voice communications for all that. So it's kind of a nice system to have. It's been incorporated domestically in the U.S. pretty good now. It was in Canada quite a bit before the U.S. started using it. The U.S. is just the last couple of years maybe it's been active. It's been active in Canada domestically for quite a while, for the last 7-8 years.
Boston
Europe,
Center, Care 522. Good afternoon.
longer than that, I think.
11,100. Care 522, Boston
Otherwise,
Center.
prior to that, it was just used oceanically. So you won't see CPDLC on a lot of domestic operated airplanes. Like if an airline like Southwest or Spirit, they're not going to use CPDLC or have it on their airplanes because they're never going to use it. Now Southwest goes to Hawaii now. Maybe they will get it, but I can't see them. HF is still pretty common going to Hawaii. CPDLC hasn't been active going to Hawaii for a long time. So I can't see Southwest fitting in on all of their 500 plus airplanes, just for the few airplanes that have to go to Hawaii. Maybe they will put it on a partial fleet and then just restrict those airplanes to be NETOPS qualified for going to Hawaii. But anyway,
Boston Center, Spirit Wings.
so like I said, you won't see this on every aircraft. It's only going to be on aircraft.
Spirit Wings 1220, Boston Center, copy.
I know for the airline I used to work for, initially
Contact Boston Center.
we only had CPDLC on certain airplanes that were flying over to Europe, but now we just get them on every airplane we order because it's almost like it's becoming standard equipment. Okay, we're coming up 35 for 36. So one thing before we level off here, I'll just show you too about the FIR regions. So in the States, go to the charts here, I'll bring up the high-level airways. So we're on the high airways here. And you have the boundaries for the FIR regions, which I'll show you up here. For example, if we zoom in, let's see where the boundary is. Yeah, so this green line represents the FIR boundary between Toronto and this might be Cleveland airspace here. So like I said, in the States, at the high-level sectors, you just use KUSA, And even for getting clearances, that's all we use on the ground is KUSA. But in Canada, you use based on the FIR regions, so the Flight Information Regions, which is the controller center for that. So this would be Toronto Centre controlling this part of Toronto or Ontario. And if you zoom in enough on the boundary layer, you'll see Toronto Centre is this sector here, and the FIR region is CZYZ. So that's who you would log into for CDPLC communications in Toronto's sector. And so that's pretty standard. You'll see on all the FIR boundaries the CDPLC login code for each center. And your CDPLC should automatically switch between sectors, and you'll see that switch when we come into Toronto. It will switch from KUSA to CZYZ, and that will happen automatically. So the active sector will become that when we cross that FIR boundary. But by then we'll probably be in the low sector, so we won't be using CDPLC communications. Okay, so we're at cruise here, so see there's our equal time point, and so we got about 120 miles, so we got a little ways to go. So before we take a break here, what I'll do is I'll request flight level 380 for our CDPLC. So we'll go into our MCDU, go to ATSU, ATC menu, request, and we'll request flight level 380. Okay, so we'll transfer that to the DCDU. So request flight level 380. We'll send that off. And you can see that sending. It's gone green. Close that out, and we'll wait for a response back by ATC. So that might take a minute or two. If you see the flashing light, you can respond to. And like I said, if you don't respond to the flashing light right away, then eventually you get that little tone to tell you there's an ATC message. Oh, got our ATC message there. So we'll launch that, we'll go down there, climb to flight level 380. So we'll say Roger to that, that's a response. And so Roger's highlighted, we'll send that off, it goes green. And ATC has been acknowledged, and we'll climb up to 380. There's climb 380.
Contact Boston Center 3.325.
Contact Boston.
We'll go to our net page, and cruise now changed to 380 as well. Well, that's all the basics of CDPLC, and on the A320 here, you can use it on VATSIM. For sure, and you can also use it now in Beyond ATC, and I think Say Intentions as well as another provider where you can use a CDPLC, and this is very realistic on how we operate with CDPLC in real life, so it just improves the immersion overall, I think. So you got some traffic, you got ability to use data link, it's nice. Beyond ATC is really coming along. I've been using it for about 6 months now, and it's been getting better all the time. It's pretty good on these canned routes between big airports, like from this flight Boston to Toronto. But it doesn't work perfectly all the time, but it's getting a lot better. So that's 370 for 380. So we'll level off. We'll get a little bit closer. We might have a few more frequency changes pop up on here, and we'll just deal with those as we go, but I won't bore you with the cruise portion of the flight. Once we get a little bit closer to our top of descent, we'll get things set up for our arrival into Toronto, so I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the flight deck. We're 80 miles from our top of descent, roughly. We haven't loaded in our arrival stuff yet. So we've had a couple of frequency changes. We're talking to Boston Center. The recall. You can see our last message was contact Boston Center on 33.2. If you want to see more messages though, you can go into the ATC menu. and you can see message record, and then you can cycle
Air
through
Canada,
all the
809
different
Heavy, contact
messages.
Cleveland Center 127.475, take care.
Center on 127.475, Air Canada.
That's how you can look at
809
other
Heavy,
messages
good
there,
afternoon.
like our climb message and stuff like that, if you want to see it. Okay, so we'll basically, let's get some ATIS for Toronto. Get some weather here too. So, arrival weather in Toronto. Winds 220, 50 miles, 2100 few, 7300 overcast, -5, 3005. Yeah, that looks good. So we'll see if we can get some ATIS here.
2113 Zulu 230 F16. Visibility 15, deep cloud 2100, ceiling 7300 overcast, temperature -05, dew point -10, altitude 3005, landing runway 23 left, departing runway 23, transition level 180, read back all hold short instructions.
Boston Center, Air Canada, 857 Heavy, descending via Linktree, 10,700
So we're
feet.
landing 23 and 24 left, so
Air Canada, 857 Heavy, Boston Center.
we'll try for 23, because when we get to Toronto, we're going to be parking at the FBO up here, so it'll be nice if we can land 23, then we don't have a long taxi around the runway at the airport there. So we'll even, if they assign us 24 left, we'll request runway 23, because it's one of the airports that they're advertising, so let's load that up. So enter destination data. We can do that now, I guess, so we'll go to the next phase. And look at our weather. 220 at 16, -5, 3005. 20 at 16. -5, 3005, and the barrel for the approach in Toronto, or 23. It's VFR, but we'll put in the barrel and we'll temperature correct it. We'll add 20 feet, which is a temperature correction for that altitude, 250 feet at -5, so that'd be 828. We'll put in 828. So that's our perf data, so let's go to the flight plan page and we'll load up the arrival. It will be the Alice 23, and it'll be the Ling 3 and via Woolsey. We'll get the Alice 23, Ling 3 by Woolsey, and Nudek is just the
Contact Cleveland Center 127.475.
X on the approach,
Center on
so looks good.
127.475, Skywest 5574.
So we'll load that.
Boston Center, Brickyard
That looks
5643.
pretty good on the map there.
Level tree 20.
Let's look at the Ling 3. We're
Brickyard
going via
5643,
Woolsey,
Boston Center,
Bowie,
copy.
Woolsey, Itston, and then Ling, no restrictions on there. So Woolsey, Itston, and then Ling. And after that we've got CDAB at 250 between 11 and 13. Goes Ling. And we want the, for 2-3, I don't know why it gave us the 05, so we'll go get that. It's all charts, arrival. The Ling for 23. That's what I want. Usually it's pretty good at starring the right one. The right one there. So again, we got Woolsey, Iston, Ling, and then Youth at 250 between 11 and 13. So Youth 250 between 11 and 13. And then we got Bimpo at 210 at 8, and then no other restrictions for the remainder. So Bimpo got speed 210 at 8, so that looks good. And then after Bimpo, we've got Burko, Mayrod, Duckney, Davno. Burko, Mayrod, Duckney, Davno. And then Donal, and then manual radar vector sent to that, and then discontinuity. And then we've got Nudek Calvi at 3 for the approach. So Nudek Calvi at 3.
Air Canada
And then
7042,
Omtalk,
Boston
and then
Center.
runway.
Expect link tree, runway 24 left.
Okay, so that was for us. Expect lane 324 left. So a lot of times, even though you're on CPDLC, they'll call you for that
Expect
information.
lane tree, runway 24 left, Air Canada 7042.
And normally we would just request via voice if we wanted to change runways. So might be too early to request a runway change. Normally they don't let you do it till your descent, but we'll see if we can do it here.
Air Canada 7042, request runway change.
Air Canada 7042, roger, say runway.
Oh, so they will. So we'll request
Request
runway
runway 23, Air Canada 7042.
Air Canada 7042, confirm arrival, runway change to tree.
Affirmative, Air Canada 7042.
Air Canada 7042, roger, change to 2 tree, approved. New instructions to follow.
Okay,
Landing
perfect.
runway 23, affirmative, Air Canada 7042.
Air Canada 7042, Boston Center, expect link tree, runway 2 tree.
Okay, we'll accept that clearance.
Expect link tree, runway 23, Air Canada 7042.
Okay, perfect. So we've got that all set up. Nice. That might be new because I thought Beyond ATC didn't let you request a runway change till you started your descent, but it's nice to see that you can do that now a little earlier. Okay, so we'll got all that loaded in. All the waypoints were good. So we've got Omtalk, the runway 23, misapproach 1100 feet intercept. We got a message here. Contact Cleveland Center. So we'll look for that, send that, and the FO should automatically switch over and contact Cleveland Center.
Cleveland Center, Air Canada 7042, flight level 3 at 80.
Air Canada 7042, Cleveland Center, roger.
Okay, so the missed approach is climb 1100 feet, heading 237, then right turn 3000 to intercept the 287 to ICDOT. So 237, 287 to ICDOT, yeah, that's all good, 3000 feet. So all the waypoints are good. The perf data is set for runway 23, so we'll just brief the approach here real quick.
Air Canada 7042, descend to 2000 feet, altimeter 3005.
Descend to 2000 feet, Air Canada 7042.
And I noticed this when I did the flight the other day.
809 heavy, contact Cleveland Center 125.
They got us descending quite a bit early here.
Center on
And that is pretty normal.
Air Canada 809 heavy.
Cleveland, so we're cleared to descend at 12,000 feet, so we'll just put that in and we'll start to descend. It'll descend at 1,000 feet per minute till it picks up the path here. And then it'll just go down from there. But that's pretty common coming in Cleveland Center because there's a whole bunch of north-south traffic here that have you descend early, so that's kind of cool to see.
Skywest 5574, contact Cleveland.
So we'll brief the approach. We're
125.875.
coming in by Woolsey. We've got the restriction at U between 1113 at 250, Dimpo 200 at 8,000. And then we'll follow the rest of the CellNav track to Dunel. Expect radar vectors for the ILS. It'll be the visual backed up to the ILS 23. So we've loaded the ILS 23. And we can check the rad nav, I guess, just to make sure it's all good. So, yep, CYYZ, frequency 11.5, IYZ is good. And slope is 3 degrees, final approach course 236, so that's all good. Field touchdown on zone elevation is 558 feet. So it will be the visual approach backed up by this. So Venice approach was just published, climb 1100 feet, heading 237, climb right turn to 3000 feet, intercept the YYZ 287 to ICDOT, and we'll do that in nav mode. Unless they tell us otherwise, we'll set the auto brake to medium, And for the airport landing 23, if we can get off via Foxtrot here, and then if not, we'll have to go all the way down to Juliet 2 and plan to taxi back for the FBO is right up here, just off of Kilo. And then we'll park there for the Maple Leafs to get off the plane and get into their fancy cars and drive home. So that's the plan. And so let's see if there's a descent checklist. I'm not sure if there is. So we got taxi, departure, so approach checklist. So barrels B3005. So we'll set those when we go through transition. Seatbelts, we can put those on now. And minimums are set, auto brake is set to medium, and engine mode selector we'll leave as it is. No weather or icing to worry about right now. So that's our approach checklist, and then this will be landing checklist, ECAM, we'll be looking for ECAM MO, landing no blue. So that's good, I think we're all set to go. So if we look at our charts here, we should be crossing into Toronto Centre as we just go past this waypoint here, which is Woolsey, I think. So yeah, as soon as we go past Woolsey, we should be switching over to Toronto. So we should get a message here switching us over. We probably won't have any more CPDLC communications, maybe one frequency change, but the rest should be voice communications once we get into the lower sectors here. Let's see how this goes. So it'll be radar vectors. We do have an ATC message, probably frequency change. Contact Cleveland Center. Send that, goes green, and the FO should check in there. Yeah, so probably once we get, we'll probably still get CPDLC till we get below
Air Canada 742. Good
around
afternoon.
23,000 feet or so, and
Flight
then
level 341.
the rest should be voice communications after that.
Air Canada 7042, Cleveland Center, copy.
Yeah, so the weather cleared up nicely in Toronto. Originally it was light snow showers
Brickyard
there.
3557, contact Cleveland Center 125.2.
Contact Cleveland Center 125.2, Brickyard 3557. Have a good afternoon.
Yeah, so for $30, I totally recommend Beyond ATC. I use it quite a bit actually. If I'm not doing flights on VATSIM, I almost always use it. The traffic injection is really good. It improves the realism of flying out of the major airports. Even in small airports is really good. But you have to be doing IFR.
Take care.
Contact Cleveland Center 125.2, JetBlue 288.
Beyond ATC is coming out with a VFR add-on down the road. They just mentioned that they're starting to work on that, so I don't know how long that will take. I'm guessing it might take a little while, but it's coming down the pipe, and that'll be a free upgrade down the road. So then you'll be able to use VFR. I know on Say Intentions, I did a trial of Say Intentions, and like Say Intentions was okay. It was, and you could use it for VFR flying, but I'm not willing to pay $20 a month, I don't think, for this add-on. This one-time fee works perfect for me, so it does increase your immersion in the sim for sure. Turn up the lighting here a little bit.
173, descend to 1,000 feet, altimeter 3005.
Descend to 1,000 feet, Endeavour 5173.
So you can see we're below the path, catching up.
Contact Cleveland Center 125.2.
We go to the frog page.
Cleveland Center 125.2, Skyward
See where 5,000 people are.
Take care.
So we'll just stay at 1,000 feet per minute till we catch up with the path, and then go from there. On a couple of flights I did in Europe, it worked pretty good too. There's a lot more sectors to switch from in Europe, so but I think Beyond ATC don't use all the fur information regions. I think they've split it up. Like I think a certain region would control more space, but I'm not 100% sure. But it didn't seem like, well, flights I've done in Europe, it seemed like you're switching FIRs all the time, and you're always switching your who you're logged into.
Air Canada 809 Heavy, contact Cleveland Center 125.2.
Center on 125.2, Air Canada 809 Heavy, bye-bye.
And when Beyond ATC does go off the rails, usually I just do what I have to do and then
contact Cleveland Center 125.2.
kind of pick it up on my own.
Cleveland Center 125.2, Endeavour 5173.
So if it does do some weird stuff, I'll just do what I need to do to get on the approach. And then I'll just switch to tower, and then I'll check in with tower, and then usually pick up with tower and do the landing. But like I said, it's not always perfect. It's about, I would say about 80%. That's fine. Increases your immersion. Makes it a little bit more enjoyable flying IFR in the sim when you're not on fat sim and stuff like that. There's snow on the ground. It's been snowing in this area, I think. I think we're going to fly right over Niagara Falls too. See how that looks when we get over top, how it's lit up. I think my next flight, the PMDG, like I said, should be out hopefully Thursday, the 18th of December. So next week I'll try to do a video featuring that plane, see how it is. It's a little disappointing that they had that early release to all the streamers there and decided to take a long time to put it out. I know it was frustrating a lot of people. But what are you going to do? When it's there, it's there. We'll fly it. Be nice to have it as a 2024 version of the sim though. And then hopefully by then I'll have all the live stream stuff figured out, and then we'll try a few practice live streams with some family and friends, make sure it's working okay, and then get on and do some live streams. Hopefully people can join me, and if they want to learn how to fly a plane with me, I'm going to try flying some new types of planes. I've got the professional Barons and Bonanzas. I've done a little bit of flying in those, but they're still learning them, so those would be fun to fly on live streams and try to figure them out and do some flights with them. And I'll probably do them on VATSIM. Even if there's no controllers, then other people, if you're comfortable coming up VATSIM, you can also fly on VATSIM along with me and try out the plane as well. Don't expect I'll have a lot of viewers initially, but that's fine. There's a few of you that would like to join me, that'd be great. I'll try to mix it up with some airline flying and some GA flying. I do like doing the airline flying occasionally, especially in aircraft I've never flown before, like the Airbuses. But I really do enjoy the GA flying as well. It's a lot of fun. I've flown some GA planes in my background, but there's lots in the sim that I haven't flown. So, like the Barons, I've never flown a Baron in real life. It's fun to be able to fly them in the sim. They're really, really well done. The Black Square Baron Professional is really great at that. Enjoying the flight. You've been a great co-pilot doing all the radios for me. Appreciate it. switching up to the path here soon. I think when we hit the blue line there is about where we capture the path. You can see the dots coming in. At some point past Wozy, we should be switched over to Toronto Center. Now, so our descent rate should increase. Got an ATC message. Contact Cleveland Center, so one more switch with Cleveland there. Acknowledge that.
Cleveland Center, Air Canada 7042, descending via Linktree, flight level 250.
Air Canada 7042, Cleveland Center. Good afternoon.
Yeah, that response is not really correct. We're not descending via Link 3. We are on the Link 3, but we're not. In the States, they give you to descend via, so when they do that, you descend to the lowest altitude on the arrival, which would be 8,000 on the Link 3. If I go back to the chart there. Yeah, so you'd put 8,000, but we're only cleared down to 12,000 feet. So in Canada, they don't do descent vias. So you'd normally check in just saying descending to through 230 for 12,000 on the Link 3. Whereas in the US, you just say descending via the Link. And it would be expected that you're cleared down to the lowest altitude on the approach, or the arrival. Here should be pushing into Toronto's FIR. Oh, it's just coming up, yeah, so please see a message. By then we will probably won't be doing any communications because we'll be in a low sector here, so it'll just be an automatic switch over to Toronto Center for CPDLC operations, but we won't be doing any CPDLC communication with. That's realistic too.
SkyWest 3153. Contact Toronto. Center 128.275.
Center on 128.275. SkyWest 3153. Take care.
Coming up over Niagara Falls to see if we can see anything. It's pretty dark, but I think the actual falls are right there. I thought it would be a little more lit up, but I guess not. Okay, we get an ATC message. There we go. Contact CYYZ. Contact Toronto Center on 120. So we'll do Wilco. We'll send. And so we're going to switch over to Toronto Center. We'll put it in our altimeter.
Toronto Center, Air Canada 7042, descending via Linktree, flight level 184.
3005 is set.
Air Canada 7042, Toronto Center, radar contact.
Close that out. And we're still with KBOS, but it should switch over here now that we're coming into Toronto airspace. So we've got transition 3005 set, and in millibars, I don't know why this is in millibars for a North American airplane, but it's 1018. I just get that from my little autopilot control device has flip between millibars. I'll get an ATC message there. Reply, login accepted. So this is from Charlie Zulu, Yankee Zulu, so it's automatically made the switch. You can see now that the current unit is CZYZ, Toronto Center. So yeah, perfect. So like I said, that's probably the end of CPDLC communication, but we did make the switch at the fur boundary there, which was exactly what it's supposed to do. So that works great. Yeah, so I'm really impressed with the CPDLC operation overall. It's been working overall pretty well for this aircraft. It'd be nice to see it come into other aircraft. I think it's only in 3 right now. This is the only aircraft I have that has it. I think it's in the Anybills 340, so I would anticipate it should come to the 350 soon. And I do know PMDG is in communication with Beyond ATC to add it to their aircraft as well, so it'd be nice to have it in all the various airliners. So far, so good. So we've got Ling. That was going to be between youth between 11 and 13. So let's youth. Put our constraints up there. They'll set information on our NDs. Youth between 11 and 13, 250 knots, which we're pretty much already doing. Should give us lower here momentarily. Okay, a little bit of cloud here.
Toronto Center,
Temperature
Air
is
Canada
-3.
168, descending via Boxon 7, 11,800
But
feet.
the ice on, just the engine anti-ice.
Air Canada 168, Toronto Center identified.
Okay, so altitude's looking good for youth. Speed's already there. As we get closer to 12, we should get a lower altitude from, they'll probably get us 8. Seems to be the way Beyond ATC does it, is they seem to always just give you that extra restricted altitude. But in the States, they do give you descent bias quite regularly, so yeah, that works pretty well. You just follow all the altitudes on the way in. Here comes the 12,000.
Air Canada 7042, contact Toronto, arrival 132.8.
Contact Toronto, arrival 132.8, Air Canada, 7042.
So you can see we're down in a low
Toronto,
sector,
arrival,
so
Air Canada, 7042, 12,200
with an arrival.
numbers.
So they didn't they didn't use CPDLC.
7042 Toronto, arrival, altimeter 3003, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 23.
Altimeter 3003, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 23, Air Canada, 7042.
3003 sets.
7042, descend to 8,000 feet, altimeter 3003.
Descend to 8,000 feet, altimeter 3003,
8,000
Air
descend.
Canada, 7042.
A little bit above the path, but we should catch it, no problem. We got speed 210 at 8,000, so that looks good. We're coming up to 10,000 feet. The belts are already on. And I'll just get the landing light on here a little bit early. Just double check we have no approach checklists. No, just a landing checklist ECAM. We're looking for a landing no blue. check on the path through 10,000 feet. Belts are on, lights are on, we're all good. So we'll expect radar vectors onto final. I noticed in this version of Beyond ATC the radar vectors have been a lot better since the last update there. Again, you can, there are two versions of Beyond ATC. I just have the basic version, but there's a supported version where you can basically pay an extra $30. You'll get some of the testing features a little bit earlier, but like I said, I'm just willing to wait till they come out in the final version. I'm not willing to pay to be a beta tester. If they want me to beta test, they can just ask me to beta test. I'll do it for free, but I'm not going to pay to do it. I'll just wait till things get refined and then come out. Okay, we should be 8,000 no problem. Speed 210 knots, so we should have a decel here for that.
Air Canada 7042, descent to 3,000 feet.
Descend to 3,000 feet, Air Canada 7042.
So 3,000. Slow in 210, 8,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an open descent here because they're going to want us to get down as quick as we can here. So just open descent. I'll use the speed brake. 3,000 set and speed's coming back. See the approach activated, so it's going to come back to the donut speed. That's fine. Keep the speed up to, open up the speed to 200 knots. Keep that. So we're open descent 200 knots. And then that way, hopefully they can turn us in a little bit earlier. So I'll put the landing system active. I get the ILS-23. Still staying in nav mode till we're on vectors. Okay, looks like we're clear of the icing, so I'll put the de-ice off. But it does say ice detected, so I guess I'll put it back on. Don't need the wing on though. So that looks good. That's the FAP OMTAC, so it'll probably take us out to here, so I really don't need to descend any faster, so just get the speed brake back in. Yeah, the sim does look really good at night. Night lighting looks great. Reflections off the clouds. And then downwind, there's Toronto. It's Billy Bishop Airport. Nice little airport to do some GA flying out of. Do a little GA flight up to Kitchener or London and then maybe down to Oshawa. Pretty good. Not a lot of traffic. Got some traffic right there. Looks like they're landing 24 left. There's one guy coming in there.
Canada 7042.
Another guy right there.
350. Expect radar vectors for ILS runway 23.
Lead Marat heading 350. Expect radar vectors for ILS runway 23 Air Canada 7042.
I'll leave Maro 350. So that looks good. So what I'll do is I'll go heading now. And
Air
then
Canada
we'll
7042, turn left, heading 020 vectors for the approach.
Turn left, heading 020 Air Canada, 7042.
Turn left heading 020.
2,500.
They always seem to do that. They always say at Merrill, turn left heading 0550 or 350, but they're impatient. They always give it to you ahead of time. Anyway, so we're in vectors, so we can now do an intercept. So we'll go flight plan, we'll do direct to Omtok, and we'll do, direct Omtok, and we'll do radial in of 57, insert that, and that draws our outbound radio. I just wanted to stay in heading mode though, so I'll just make sure we just go to
Air
heading.
Canada, 7042, turn left, heading 330.
Turn left, heading 330 Air Canada, 7042.
330. And I'll let it go slow down, I'll put it in speed mode. So we're back to speed, we'll go to the donut speed. Level 3,000 feet, good landing system is active. Coming in on a base leg, so we're looking pretty good. There's our top of descent for 3,000 feet. Another aircraft over there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really liking Beyond ATC. I think it's really improved a lot in this version, that's for sure. Digging the flight temps, let them know we're going to be landing shortly.
Air Canada, 7042, 5 miles from Calvi. Turn left, heading 260, maintain 3,000 feet until established on the final approach course. Cleared eye, LS runway 23.
Turn left, heading 260, 3,000 feet until established. Cleared eye, LS runway 23 Air Canada, 7042.
Okay, 260. Coming in on the inbound, looks good. So we're on the heading, I'll arm the approach. See the airport there momentarily. There's runway 23, I think. Okay, I'm going to arm the approach now. Approach is armed. The glide slope look blue. Uplizer is live. Lone Star. See the airport there, so that's 23 for us, 24 left and right, or right there. Usually at night the airport is the dark spot in all the lights. Okay, coming up, should get our glide slope active here shortly.
Air Canada, 7042, contact Toronto Tower 118.35, have a good afternoon.
Contact Tower 118.35 Air Canada, 7042, see you. Toronto Tower, Air Canada, 7042, ILS runway 23.
Air Canada 7042, Toronto Tower, wind 240, the 12 gust 21, runway 23 cleared to land.
Runway 23 cleared to land, Air Canada,
Cleared to land, I'll put the
7042.
taxi light on. The glide slope coming in. Yeah, beautiful night approach into Toronto. Wow. Let's see if any ice, I could shut it off. No, I'm going to get the ice detected, so I'll just leave them on. That's fine. Okay, glide slope's coming in. We got glide slope star. So, speed's good. And we'll get our second notch of flap. to land. Put the gear down. Speed's good. Flaps 3. Speed checks, flaps full. Arm the spoilers. And landing checklist, we got ECAM. Landing checklist, no blue. We are clear to land. So like I said, if we can exit at Foxtrot here, I believe it is. And we'll just have to taxi in Kilo, nice short taxi. If not, we'll have to go down to Juliet 2 and then taxi Juliet back. And this approach altitude was 3,000 feet, I believe. Yep. Getting still pretty good frame rate here, 50 FPS. Coming into a big airport in the Phoenix is pretty good. So 1,000 feet, check this approach altitude, 3,000 feet is checked. We'll hand fly to the last bit of the approach here, autopilot off. Pretty much down the runway. A little bit low, correcting.
$500.
Check. Very good. Back on the PAPI, sir.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
Nice firm touchdown. Speed brakes up.
Air Canada 7042, exit left at Hotel 2.
Exit left at Hotel 2 Air Canada.
Anyway, that's it. Thanks for joining me on the flight today. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll try to get in when they get the new PMDG airplane out later this week. Thanks for joining me on the Bandit Flight Simmer channel. If you enjoyed the flight, take time, hit that
Air
like.
Canada 7042, Toronto ground.
And sign up for notifications, and you'll see the video next video when it comes out. See you next time on the channel. Bandit out.